All right, it's the day before Thanksgiving and your bird is no longer a birdsicle, but it's just an uncooked turkey. So now it is time to infuse it with some flavor and to get it brining. For a lot of people, making a holiday turkey is one of the hardest dishes you'll make all year. We're waiting. My name is Lauren, and I'm gonna take you through the process of making a simple, delicious oven roasted turkey. And hopefully have some fun along the way. With a roasted turkey, we recommend brining it, and we're gonna be doing a brine kit, just makes things easier. We've got 8 cups of water coming to a boil on the stovetop, and then you need some water and some ice. So while that water is coming to a boil, let's talk about brining. So brining is what I like to think of as an insurance policy. Not only is it gonna infuse the bird with a lot of flavor and nicely season it, but it's also gonna give you a juicy, tender bird, even if you slightly overcook it. So what happens is you submerge a raw turkey in a saltwater solution. Sometimes you add sugar, sometimes you add herbs and spices, but essentially it needs to be a saltwater solution. And what that's gonna do is the salt is going to loosen up the proteins and just kind of make them loosey-goosey. And what that means is the proteins are then able to pick up some water. They're able to absorb some water and hold on to it while it cooks. That's the key, is that it holds on to that water. So the protein molecules are gonna go like this. They're gonna absorb some water. And then when they cook, they just slightly contract. Whereas if you don't brine it, they're gonna go like this and squeeze out all the juices in the turkey. So if you've gone cross-eyed, I get it. The long and the short of it is, it makes for a juicy, tender, perfectly seasoned turkey. All right, our water is boiling, so I'm gonna grab that. And we're just gonna add our brine kit here. And what's nice about this is you don't have to measure out any salt. You don't have to look at like the ratios that you need. You just open it and put it in the hot water. Ooh! We're gonna stir this, just let it sit for a little bit. So we're just putting this in the hot water so the salt can dissolve, that's key. It's also going to unlock some of those herbs and the spices just to really enhance the flavor. This is gonna make a very concentrated brine. So we're just gonna line a big pot or a big bucket with our brining bag. And then we're gonna add in our ice. Just pop that in. This is 8 cups of ice. And then we also have 8 cups of cold water. And this is just going to cool down this brine really quickly so you don't start cooking your turkey. That is absolutely key. All right, now we're gonna add our concentrated brine to the ice water. Oh, it smells so good already. And then I like to stir it until the ice dissolves. All right, so now we're gonna put our gorgeous turkey in. We're gonna flip it breast side down because most of the meat is there. So we want all of it submerged, but just flip it. And then put her in and nestle it in. Oh, perfect. And then I will gather the edges of the bag and pull it up a little bit. Make sure you get all the air out, actually. Then twist it and use a twist tie to secure it. All right, and then we're just gonna put this in the fridge overnight. All right, this is definitely the same turkey and it's definitely been brining for 12 hours, but now it's time to get it seasoned. Okay, so we're gonna get this out of the pot, out of its brine bag. You're gonna need a pretty good grip. It's gonna be kind of slippery. You can always use a paper towel to help you grip. That's really nice. And the cavity is likely gonna be filled with some brine, so just be aware. It might not be the easiest thing. If you can, flip it around so you dump out some of that liquid from the cavity. And then transfer it to a cutting board. And we're gonna pat it dry. It's gonna make it safer to work with, so it's not slipping and sliding around on your cutting board, but it's also going to dry out some of the skin, encourage browning, encourage crisping. It's gonna help you keep seasoning stuck to the turkey, which is important. Get inside the cavity, flip it around, get to know your bird. Before we start seasoning and buttering it up, I'm gonna trim this bit of skin back here. It's quite a bit of extra skin. It's not gonna be adding much, and it's actually gonna dangle into your roasting pan and likely burn, which could burn your dripping, so you don't really wanna do that. So I'm just gonna trim this a little bit. You don't wanna do too much because you don't want it to shrink up and shrink over the breast when it's roasting. And I'm just going to brush melted butter all over the turkey. You could alternatively do a nice herb seasoned butter and sneak that underneath the skin and peel the skin away from the breast meat. It's a little bit more work. It's pretty messy. You could definitely do that, but today we're gonna go the easier route and just do some melted butter. It's gonna make the turkey nice and golden. It'll encourage some browning and some crispness, so it's just as delicious. So now it's just about flavor. We're gonna use this little herb sachet, all in the nooks and crannies, between the legs, and then I'll go back in and kind of rub it in. Oh, it smells so good. And what's really nice about this is with that melted butter, it creates a really nice coating that you know is gonna stick to the bird. That's one more reason it's so important to dry your bird off so it stays stuck on there. You can also put it in your hand and then kind of pat it on. What's really nice about a seasoning packet is you don't have to measure out individual ingredients. You can just open this up and get it nicely seasoned. So let's get this brine out of here. And I have my roasting pan with a rack set inside of it. Just gonna put my turkey breast side up into the pan. And our turkey came pre-trussed, which is beautiful, but we don't want that right now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'm just gonna remove that plastic truss. So it smells absolutely delicious, but it is definitely not edible. Next up is roasting.